Hi everyone, let me show you one of the easiest dal recipes to make. This is my mom's Toor dal recipe and it's incredibly simple. All it needs is tomatoes, turmeric powder, chili powder, and that's pretty much it for the dal itself. You do need a tadka at the end, or a temper as they call it, with garlic and dried red chilies and curry leaves. If you don't have curry leaves, you can skip that or use dried curry leaves if you can find them. One of the things I wanted to highlight in this video is to show you how I love to use those moments of time that you find in between cooking while you're doing various things to relax and to chill out. And I'd love to do all sorts of things. I could play guitar or read a book or watch something on Netflix or whatever I fancy. And I know that it's difficult to find time to do these things these days. And so I do value it and I do try to do it whenever I can. And those gaps that I find in cooking always seem to be the perfect time to do it. So with that said, let's move on to the recipe. So we start this recipe by measuring 1 cup of toor dal, and we need to wash this for a couple of times, or maybe 2 or 3 times under the sink until the water runs mostly clear, and then we need to soak this for about a couple of hours. And of course with that, here comes our first opportunity to relax and do something for a couple of hours. So I'm going to pick up my guitar and practice. So after a couple of hours, we're going to put our dal in a saucepan, add some water and bring it to a hard boil. When the dal starts boiling, you will notice a lot of scum rising to the top, and it's really important to remove as much of this as possible, otherwise your dal won't taste that nice. After you've removed as much of the scum as possible, we can now go ahead and add our tomatoes, turmeric powder, chili powder and a couple of pricked green chilies. After adding those things in, bring it back to a boil and then cover, reduce the heat and then simmer it slowly for about an hour and a half or so. One very important thing to never do is to add salt to your dal at the beginning. Now there are some people who say it's fine, but I prefer to be on the safe side and I tend to wait until after the dal is cooked to add salt. And my mother usually said to me that the reason is your lentils will not cook if you add salt at the beginning. Now once again, here's another opportunity for me to relax a little bit. So now I'm going to read a book, and it's going to be the wonderful book number 47 by my friend Hannah Palmer. I highly recommend you check it out. It's a real page turner. We can lift the lid after an hour and a half has passed, and you will see that the water has evaporated and some of the dal is stuck on to the edges of the pan, and that's not a problem. Just scrape it back into the pan, that's fine. And now we're going to remove the green chilies from this dal and we're going to use a whisk to make it as smooth as possible. After you're happy with the consistency of your dal, it's really important to salt it properly. I get this question asked many times by different people who say to me that my dal just doesn't taste as nice. And I've often found that the answer is they're not salting the dal properly. So I've added about 1.5 teaspoons of salt here, I believe. We're going to add some lemon juice as well. Now I really like adding lemon juice to this dal. It adds a really lovely zing to it. So now that the dal is ready, we just need to make the tadka for it. Now some people call this a chonk, some people say baghar. All it is really is a simple frying of some dried spices in either butter or ghee or oil, which you then add to the top of the dal for flavor. In our case, we're going to add some garlic, curry leaves and dried red chilies. If you don't have fresh curry leaves, you can obviously use dried ones, and if you can't find those at all, you can skip it. And there you go. This is the simplest dal recipe ever. I do hope you try it and you enjoy it. Let me know how it goes. Thank you. Bye.